Right on. Back at the Hawkins Manor. Yes. This is what we're all keen to see.
No! No! No, I want to see more. More.
Awesome.
Who goes there?
Who goes there?
That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Why would we come back here where underground is where the nightmare is?
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Did I miss the stairs?
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Where to start?
I saw
With the
people in
occult.
hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Oh man, look at his face. Just oh my god, it's all real. To Bradley. I found this.
I found a Darkwater PD badge. Lost a colleague recently?
What the?
Bradley.
Ethan?
I'm all right. I just had a... It's gone.
You're sure?
If it's important, it'll come back. But I can't explain why Dr. Fuller would have that badge.
The man's a danger, believe me.
What can we do, Pierce?
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
You know, I've had it with your drama.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Your
Bradley,
memory seems to be
what
failing
do you
you.
remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
the rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
I feel like he does remember, he just doesn't want
I
to.
heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
Is
I
him a
get the
PI?
impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Well, Colden.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I don't know why he's like talking like that. There's like not many people on this island. He's like an emperor of nothing.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
All right.
It's the truth, Ethan, and I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Oh, I might be onto a
met
lead.
Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
Yes, let's
But
go
it could
straight
drive
down
her
the
mad.
path of a crazy
Better
person.
madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
Shut the fuck up!
I'll do my best.
Yes, let us consult the diary, because we now have... Oh! There we go. Sanite. Oh. Oh. We'll revisit these in a moment. Alright, our new occult. Sleeping cultist. There are laid out on a frozen stone. One would say that they are dead, but their bodies do not decompose. Are they in some form of coma? One thing is sure, these men were subjected to a type of treatment that changed their physical characteristics. I'm not sure that we can still call them men. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. I just have a look around. Shit. Alright, Sanders' residence.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Uh-oh.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Yikes.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about.
That's all
Sarah
he
Hawkins
talked
and her
about.
paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I don't know.
I'm too stupid. Oh, God. We be honest, right? Let's
I
go with this one.
expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Yes.
Okay, let's not... Oh, God. My eloquence just sucks.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional Shambler.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Well, I wasn't completely honest.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge, allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. What a prick. Medicine. How good are we on medicine? Oh. Bup. We're slowly getting to the next one. Oh, crap. We're almost there. For a cold, anyway.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Okay, why? How nosy are we going to be? An audio recording that Francis Sanders left for his wife, Irene.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
This is crazy.
Jesus.
I can't take anymore. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Woof. Oh, hello.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Oh, God.
A house of artists. A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists.
A house of artists.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
We can't get a good image of it just yet.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Behold my magnificence. Oh. Uh-oh!
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
We all saw the same vision, right? Okay, no idea what I did there.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Art and Mysticism, Forgotten Objects is a collection written by Francis Sanders. In it, he catalogues and categorizes objects from all ages and origins that are linked to occult or mystical practices. It is opened at the page of a dagger that bears a symbol that is not unknown to me. Elder son? We leveled up. Alright, well. Hello. Dissertation on an anatomical question. It is the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the question asked allow us to imagine a new ways of exploring human anatomy. Nice.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
This volume spends some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their visions as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. Your friend, Sarah Hawkins.
I could use one of those.
I found these sleeping pills in the Sanders house. Were they prescribed to Francis Sanders or to Irene? The Whale and the Cod. Or A Brief History of Darkwater by Owen Greenmouth. It is focused on the past glory of the island. Would you read the book?
Oh, yes.
What book? Read the book. Marius Bestarium, Volume 2. It is a kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe that they exist. Ooh. It has affected my destiny. Oh no. Oh, come on. Come on. We did it!
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
No. Another painting by Sarah Hawkins.
By Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
I feel like being honest with her is the right way to move.
I found this drawing of a dagger. Did you come across anything like it in your reading?
Perhaps. I saw several daggers in the ledgers. I could always check. What I didn't find, however, was the slightest reason why I should help you, Detective.
I don't need your services. I can manage all on my own, thanks.
Do it then.
Oh. Hello?
A strange Amerindian pendant.
An ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. I wonder what its purpose could be. Damn! We're slowly proving our occult worth. I'd say we need about 4 more, maybe? And then we have mastered the occult. Like true seekers of truth. Okay. Let's have a look at this painting, eh? I wonder if she has anything else to say. She does not. Oh, yes,
Not
she does.
now, sweetheart.
Oh.
I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Well, we could just be friends. Here we go. Here comes horrors. I don't like that. Look at all this occult stuff. Brilliant.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
The man has taste. Oh well, there it is there.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Strangle that geese. If anybody sees anything that is a nod to Lovecraft or cosmic horror works, let me know. It's missing pieces. Oh wait, maybe it's buried in the the rock.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
That's a good question. Ah, nice. Nothing to say? Alright. These are some cool paintings.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Suppose that's so people can talk about how much of a scandal it all is. Hello? Huh. Here we go. This is what we've been looking for.
This is the work of madness.
I guess the Shambler does not wish to be gazed upon. Behind you! Oh god, we took a turn. Nice. But you cannot see us. Man, the slightest bit of terror just shuts us down, huh?
What was that?
Get in quick! Quick! How much panic can we sustain? Not much, looks like.
I can't even touch it.
Whoa! Not like this! Ah! Well, that was kind of silly. Alright, let's have a look here. Dimensional Shambler. The Dimensional Shambler comes from a dark and inhospitable dimension, where the rarity of food sources keeps it in a state of permanent starvation. This is why it is in a constant state of readiness to travel to other dimensions in order to feed on its inhabitants. Make sure you never weaken the veils of your dimension, otherwise the risk attracting this very dangerous creature. Should this happen, you just have to lay eyes upon it for its being to anchor itself in your dimension and allow it to rip you open with its claws. Oh my god. What am I supposed to do? Hide in a closet? Wait.
Damn. Did it hear that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Oh man, I can pick up daggers? Wait, wasn't there like a...
What the hell was that?
Hang on. No, in here. No. Clues. A dagger. Maybe that dagger's in here somewhere? We'll go have a look. What was that one I picked up before? That's not it. Neither is that. No. Is that it? Let's take our chances.
No mistakes.
Good. Alright, well. Hopefully it's there again.
This dagger looks different.
This dagger looks different. Do I stab the bitch? There it is. Go for the classic backstab kill. No.
Looks different.
Run! Run! Is this it? This is it! Fuck yeah. Get expelled! Oh man, look how much of a wreck we look. Cut it off, cut it off. Oh, he's going to.
What's the matter with you?
Get it together, you pathetic piece of shit.
Oh, we're nuts.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
The painting was cursed.
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew about the monster?
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
Let's not bring up the notion of payment.
The symbol
huh?
on the dagger. It was all over Sanders' cell. It's what protected him. It's what protected me, too. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
Interesting. Oh, she's sad. Well, nothing we can help with.